Welcome to Psychological Endurance Training. Please note that this lecture is intended for general education purposes. It is not intended to provide medical advice to any individual. Today's presentation is about psychological endurance, which is the capacity to endure negative mental and emotional states, such as stress and anxiety. In the context of cardiac rehabilitation, building psychological endurance and training your mind like you would any other muscle in your body has important implications for your cardiovascular health.
Let's start by asking yourself, what are you committed to? You might list people in your life like family and friends. You might list your job if you work. You might also list different hobbies and leisure time activities. But what about yourself? Being committed to yourself and your health, especially your heart health, is the foundation of building psychological endurance. In being committed to yourself, you are committing to your values. Often, it can be helpful to take a step back and consider, what are your values? What are the top 2 or 3 values on that list? Are you living your day-to-day life in a way that is consistent with those values? That is committed action, setting and meeting specific realistic goals that are consistent with your values. Committing to yourself means remaining true to your values and convictions. As we go about life with our values in mind, it is easy to get derailed from committed action. Sometimes we are derailed by others, even if they are well-meaning. Others may ask for our time, energy, or other resources. Rather than instantly saying yes, you may want to pause and think about whether this is in alignment with your values. And other times we derail ourselves. We may experience self-doubt about our ability to meet our goals or guilt for putting our needs first. This is completely natural. Like the sign says, expect delays. Change is rarely constantly upward and linear. Planning ahead for obstacles is part of psychological endurance training. Are there certain types of obstacles that you anticipate? We may also encounter unforeseen obstacles like major illnesses or disasters. While we cannot prepare for every potential obstacle, just knowing and accepting that life presents unknown road bumps can help us build our capacity to withstand difficult moments. Along those lines, we often have to accept that life happens. Circumstances beyond our control, and sometimes beyond anyone's control, are a part of life. Rather than struggling to control something that we may not be able to, try practicing a stance of acceptance. Often, acceptance is what ultimately leads to change. A weeping willow, as seen here, is a symbol of resilience in the face of challenge. The branches of a weeping willow continue to grow by bending. In the same way, we too can grow by practicing flexibility. Rather than seeing life's difficulties as something that breaks us, consider how we can flexibly bend and maneuver to still grow and meet our goals. Mental flexibility can look a lot of different ways. Maybe you will maintain your values, but adjust your ideas of the specific ways in which you will meet your goals. Maybe you will look at a situation from a different perspective, or maybe you will tolerate uncertainty. Some concrete ways in which you can also build up psychological endurance is by talking to yourself in a positive manner. We may not realize that sometimes we are our own harshest critic. You can tell yourself the same words of encouragement that you might tell a good friend or family member, like, I can handle this, or one step at a time, or I will figure out what I need to do. Remember that you don't have to go it alone. Evaluate what kinds of support you need and enlist different types of support to meet your goals. Maybe you need technical support, like having someone teach you how to use a new device or looking up something for you. Maybe you need emotional support, like someone to listen in a caring and non-judgmental way. Maybe you need motivational support, like someone to cheer you on, give you feedback, and hold you accountable to your goals. Or maybe you need practical support, like help with an errand or chore. Whatever it may be, do not be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Self-regulation, or the ability to monitor and manage your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors on an ongoing basis, is always a work in progress. Remember to exercise, eat a healthy diet, sleep, carve out time for enjoyable activities, engage in meaningful experiences, and build social connections. To keep the momentum going, remember to give yourself credit. We respond well to reinforcement, so give credit when credit is due. This can be particularly helpful in reaching your goals, as you can identify your particular strengths and harness them to facilitate your goal striving. Remember to also try practicing gratitude. Studies have shown that even the simple act of identifying 3 things you are grateful for on a daily basis can make a positive difference in your mood. Gratitude journaling is a common technique where people might dedicate a few minutes to regularly jot down what they're grateful for that day.
Finally, psychological endurance training is all about perseverance. Everything we reviewed in today's lecture is an ongoing process. Just remember to be patient with yourself when moving towards your goals. Thank you so much for your attention today.